Hey y'all, I'm Ashley here at Talking Books with Ashley to do April's graphic novel review. I have realized just now that I haven't done this video and it's already in May, but you know, it's whatever. I read my goal, 3 graphic novels for the month of April. I'll first talk about this one. The sequel, the volume 2 to Catwoman, Far From Gotham. I'm going to try and do this with as little spoilers as possible. This is set same place as Catwoman Volume 1, Copycats, following the same villains, following the same kind of storyline. You learn about Selena Kyle's sister more. You learn a little bit more about the villains. There's also an annual comic in this one. Like, annuals are just short stories. It's got the same kind of art style as you can see as the first one. It's just a continuation story, I guess you could say. I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoy the Catwoman series. I like how she's I like the direction that Joelle Jones is taking Selena Kyle, Catwoman, after leaving Bruce Wayne and everything that happened in Batman 50. I really like, she's not in a great place emotionally, but she's picking herself back up, if you must know. And I really enjoyed that, like dealing with her enemies, villains, even some were cops. Like, are cops always the bad guy? Or the good guys. I liked the direction and the story, and if you like Tom King's Batman, I think you would enjoy this series also, which they're not connected anymore, but it was headed that way anyways. So, the next one I read was Snapdragon, which is a first-second novel by Kat Leyh. I think it's how you say that. Kat Leyh. Snapdragon is, I think, actually a middle grade graphic novel about a girl who's a tomboy who gets made fun of. She has a friend who, let me find the friend's name, also gets made fun of. And Lewis is a trans girl, wants to wear dresses, be a girl, and she struggles with that. Not the main character, but Lewis. And at school, it is about how this main character meets an elderly person who all the neighborhood kids believe is a witch, and come to find out they are a witch. And they collect bones of animals that have passed away and set them up and then sell them on the internet. This person also used to be with her grandmother, and they aren't anymore because her grandmother wanted her family, and the witch didn't want a family, and they come back together, and there's that real cute romance in it for this elderly couple. And it was just fun and fast and lighthearted, and the magic in it was fun. The story between the mother and daughter was fun, and also very touching because they didn't get along, but they loved each other, and they worked together to make their family, and it was cute. Next one I'll talk about is a graphic novel memoir. I don't even know if you would call this one really a full-on graphic novel. I guess you would. This is The Fire Never Goes Out by Noelle Stevenson, the same person that wrote Nimona. It talks about her burnout, her mental illness, her struggle with becoming famous through her art, her, you know, she's the creator of She-Ra. She's married to another graphic novelist, Molly. I can't remember her last name, but they got married not long ago, actually. And this is her struggle with being a Christian, with being gay, a lesbian, with being mentally ill and not realizing it. And I've always loved her work. I said that about Nimona, and that's one of the reasons I read Nimona, because I knew I had this and I wanted to catch up on her previous work before I got into this. And I have followed her Patreon before, and she talks a lot about a lot of this was in her Patreon, not in it, but that was what her Patreon was about. And I really enjoyed this story. I mean, her story. It's a real life story. It's memoir. It's her telling what she's done, and each year has an end of the year review, and 2014, and how she reacted to becoming famous. And then one day she's fine, and the next day she's not fine, and everything's going wrong, and everything's not wrong, everything's great, but she's not great mentally. And it was really a touching read for somebody who has had her own issues with mental illness and struggling and burnout. And this is really, it was a good read. I really enjoyed it. Those were my graphic novels for the month. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, please let me know. Leave them down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate if you did subscribe. And that's it for graphic novels for April. I will see y'all later.